Hi, hi, hi. Welcome to the week 4 of the Performance Marketing Mentorship Bootcamp. I'm super excited to be initiating this week. I know a lot of you have been waiting for, the advertising stuff to begin. So we are going to get started from this week, and we are going to get started with our most favorite channel, a personal favorite for both me and Ashwin, right? And, that is Google Ads. And we're going to be starting with that. There are very many reasons why Google is our most favorite, and throughout this week we are going to be talking about it. And as a business, you should be running Google Ads. The only business for which Google Ads are not required, especially Google search are not required, is when not enough people are aware of you. Let's say when you're launching something really new that doesn't exist in the market, not many people know that you exist, so they won't search for you, they won't search for the problem that you're solving, right? Otherwise, for all the other businesses where people generally go to Google for an answer, you should be running Google Ads. I know a lot of you would be big fans of Facebook. Now, Facebook is a fantastic channel, and we are going to be talking about that too in the next week. But Google is even more a favorite channel for us. All right. So let's get started without further ado. Performance marketing with Google Ads. Okay. Now, Google Ads is one of the most powerful and consistently profitable digital advertising channel. We will be talking about several reasons and what is Google capable of, what kind of campaigns you can run. There are very many different things that you can do with Google Ads. But to the context of this week module, we are going to be talking about how Google Ads work for performance, predominantly that. We are not going to be talking about things that we don't really use in our real life often. Okay. As we go through this module, you'll understand. We will talk about all of them, but we'll also tell you why is something not being used for performance and why is something always used for branding. We will talk about that. Okay. But Google Ads is, I've written one of the most powerful, to not sound controversial, but it is the most powerful digital advertising channel. Okay. And why? Without Google Ads, only the companies, if you assume that, you have a company and you will very likely have a website, and you will be doing several things to get traffic to that website, right? You'll be doing social media. You'll be running ads on Facebook. You'll be running ads on Google. These are all different traffic engines, right? You'll be doing a lot of those things. But, what if you have to drive traffic for free without any cost, right? Then there are only a few channels that can let you, you can try. One of that is, of course, social media marketing, but only if you have a really large community of you're consistently creating good content, then social media will organically drive traffic for you. The second best thing that people do is to do SEO, right? But the problem with SEO is, it takes a while to start showing results, because you won't get results immediately. It will take some amount of work for you to get results immediately as well. But there is a bit of a gap, from where you're starting today from scratch, to the day where SEO can deliver kick-ass results for you. Right. So without Google Ads, only the companies with best SEO content and social media strategies would get a lot of traffic. Right. Google Ads kind of create a level playing field for any business to go out there and compete with the best of the companies and take that top spot. Okay. Whenever you go Google something, you're going to see that, the first few results are always ads, and then the organic results come in, right? But within those ads, why is some ad coming up on top and why some ads are coming at number two? Why some ads come at the very bottom? You need to know that. Why do they do that? Even within Google Ads, people compete for the top spot. Okay. And even if you're a small business, you can actually get the top spot. Let's say if you're a small business, a smaller version of Amazon, and if you are competing with Amazon on a specific category or a specific product, with smart tactics, you should be able to beat Amazon, right? Because Amazon has every product in the world. It sells everything. Not everything is a big priority for them, right? The Amazon advertising team would be focusing on selling products that gives them better margins, that gives them better ROI. There are always areas, irrespective of the size of the company they are, they cannot give 100% focus to everything, right? So if let's say if you're competing with somebody big out there, you need to identify their weak spots, and you can actually start dominating that, right? And we will definitely discuss multiple examples in terms of how you can go about doing it. All right. As high as 90% of the clicks go to Google ads in a few categories. I know as marketers, we might be thinking that who clicks on ads? I know it is an ad, but who clicks on it? That may be applicable for Facebook ad, but or a Google display ad, but not applicable for a Google search ad. Let's say if you're planning to buy something, let's say you want to buy a nice accessory or a smartphone, anything that is something that you want to buy for your personal purposes. You are very likely to go to Google and you search for stuff, and there are high possibilities that you'll click on one of the ad, because those ads with offers, with the product details, it will look much better than the organic search results, right? In some categories, as high as 90% of the clicks that generally happen within Google goes to Google Ads. Imagine. So if you're not running Google Ads, you're missing out on all of that. You may be having a strong SEO strategy, but what if you fall into that category? When 90% of the clicks goes to Google Ads, right? It is not necessarily true universally. The general rule of thumb is anywhere from 30% to 60% of the clicks go to Google Ads. But like I mentioned, it is in a few categories, especially if it's an e-com category, anything where consumer purchases happen, a lot of clicks have the potential to go to Google Ads, right? So as a marketer or a business owner, if you haven't tested Google Ads, you should be doing it now. Forget about everything that you have heard about Google Ads. Okay, Google Ads is expensive. It needs a lot of expertise to run. That Google Ads is a black box. All of that. Forget everything that people have said. Anything wrong about Google Ads, you are actually missing out on a lot when you are not running Google Ads. Okay, if you have not tested, you should be doing it now. At least at the end of this weekly module, you should be doing it. All right. So Google Ads can get you the most qualified audiences to consider buying your product. I'm not saying to buy your product, to consider buying your product. All right. Now, when I say qualified audiences, right, these are people who are very likely to perform an action. Now, think about why people generally go to Google. When they have a need, that's when they go to Google. They have a question in their head. They need some help. They go to Google asking for that help, right? It has super high intent. What Google provides is not offered by any other channels out there. If you think about it, what Google is today, any other network cannot even get closer to what Google can offer in terms of intent. So if you're looking for your P1 audience, there is no better place than Google. I know we have talked about running Facebook ads with conversion objective, it's likely to find, but Facebook will start showing your ads to others eventually when Facebook is running out of that audience. Google will never run out of audience. The number of searches that are happening are only increasing. And an internet user's journey very likely will start with Google, right? Though may have created some profile here and there, but where they perform action, where they go ask for help is very likely Google, right? And hence, Google is the place where you can find the most qualified audience for your business, irrespective of the type of business you are, as long as your business and the category has some awareness. Now, most of the clients that we have worked with, most of the brands that we have worked with, there is hardly any brand where we ran only Facebook for them. Very rarely there were a few boutique kind of businesses where we were running only Facebook ads for them. But I can't even think of any business where any large business per se that we were doing only Facebook ads. No, not at all. We, irrespective of the brand, B2B, B2C, Google Ads is always part of your media mix. Okay, and it should be, at least for those of you who have not yet initiated, not yet started learning Google Ads, or not yet Google Ads is an integral part of your performance marketing mix. It should be from today. Okay. Now, when you show a Facebook ad, right, to a prospective customer, let's say if that prospective customer, when I say prospective customer, they're very likely to buy from you. But when they have a hesitation, they will go Google you up. They will go to Google, search for your brand, search for reviews about your brand, search for if there is any delivery issues or things like that. People will generally check the reputation of you on Google. They will not come to your Facebook page to check your reputation. Okay. There are a few people who do that as well. I'm not making a general statement, but very likely people will go to Google to look you up, how reputable you are, what people are talking about you. Some people go to Amazon reviews to check if you're selling on Amazon, right? And imagine when the customer is, seen a Facebook ad, they're very impressed with you. They're going to Google now and they're looking up your brand name. And imagine if you are not running Google ads and your competition is running Google ads on your brand name, your competition is very likely to pull that customer away, right? This happens a lot with aggregator websites, hotels and flight tickets and travel. It happens a lot. Somebody ends up creating awareness. Let's say, if a Clear Trip is creating awareness for a Mauritius package, right? And the customer is wanting to know more about Mauritius. They are coming to Google. And in Google Mauritius, there are other travel companies that are selling exciting packages, which are with a different kind of a pricing model. Now, customer at least is distracted now. They're very likely to fill up the form and talk to the other service provider as well. And what if ClearTrip is not running a Google ad? They've lost that customer, though they were responsible for creating that awareness with that particular customer, right? So that's extremely crucial, and which is why running only Facebook ads or only LinkedIn ads is never a good choice. It's not a mix. When gurus talk about Facebook is more than enough to grow your business, it is to an extent. It is definitely to an extent. You can grow a boutique business with only Facebook, but your Facebook campaigns will work better if you also have a Google campaign running. And we've seen several data points to prove that, right? There is something called incrementality measurement. For example, we run only Facebook ads for a brand for a certain period of time, let's say for about 14 days, with Google Ads and without Google Ads. So we combine, we compare between, okay, what was the return on investment when we ran with the Google Ads and without Google Ads? And we have done several of these incrementality tests over a period of time for a variety of businesses. Whenever you run Google Ads, the return on investment is always higher, right? And it is a proven fact. It is not even an opinion of me or Ashwin. When you run Google Ads, it is going to indefinitely increase your other channel ROI performance. Okay. Now, with Google Ads, let me talk about a few basics. Now, for those who are already aware of the basic search ads and stuff like that, you can immediately jump to Ashwin's module at the end of this. But for those of you who do not or who have not run Google Ads, this is going to be extremely crucial. It's meant for beginner and intermediates. You can consider it that way. If you're an advanced professional, straight away jump to Ashwin's module, which is at the very end of this weekly module. Okay, the last 2 or 3 videos where Ashwin is doing, he straight away jumps into ad optimization. He talks about scaling. You can refer that. But for the rest of you, you have to listen to me. You don't have a choice. Okay. So with Google Ads, you can run search ads. People generally call it text ads as well. These are the ads that pop up on the Google search engine result page. Whenever you go to Google, you type in something like, I've used an example of a co-working space, right? And, there are these ads that has popped up, and usually it comes with this label. Earlier, it used to be in different color, but in order to increase the performance of this ad unit, Google has decided to remove the color because people started thinking that this is an ad. For people who do not pay really attention to this, they might think it is organic, right? Very likely they might think it is organic, right? And I'm not talking from a marketer perspective. I'm talking from a consumer perspective, a regular consumer who doesn't really know the terminologies. They don't even know what is an ad and what is an organic results. We understand all of this, right? So the first thing is, these ads are called search ads. The most powerful form of advertising of all of Google has to offer is search. Most of their revenue comes from this channel. Okay, extremely powerful. This is the ad that has made Google what it is today. Okay, there in terms of revenue. So these are WeWork ads, that is being running. There is someone called Executive Zone who is running an ad. There's someone called ServeCop that is running an ad for just co-working space. This is from my location. If somebody is searching from Bombay, somebody is searching from Singapore, the ads that they get to see will be different. And we will get to these details a little later. I was searching it from Bangalore. WeWork has done a fantastic job. That talks about WeWork in Bangalore at 12,000, a price point, which means if I'm looking for a cheap working space, I wouldn't even click on this ad. And if my budget is okay, I'm very likely to click on this ad. It's a very good way to qualify your visitor. Now, people might think, our objective as a search engine marketer should be to get as many clicks as possible. No, that is a very regular search engine marketer. That's what they think. And you are a performance marketer, right? You should actually go after clicks that can potentially result in a conversion for you, right? And which means what, you have to go after the right keywords, you have to go after the, you have to filter the right visitors with the help of good copy. We will talk about these details, don't worry. So with Google Ads, you can run search ads, which looks like this. You can run display ads. These are otherwise called banner ads as well. These are these banners that you will find in different websites, right? Whenever you go visit any information-based website, right, you are very likely to see these banners, and very likely that is powered by Google. Okay, so Google Display Network covers more than 90% of the internet. 90% of the internet. Can you imagine? So very likely the ad that you are looking at will be powered by Google Display. And there are a few other specialized retargeting channels. There is DV360 and all of that. But don't worry. End of the day, it's all, the DV360 is part of Google's products. So this is called a display ad or a banner ad. Okay. With the Google Ads, you can run video ads whenever you go to YouTube. And if you are not having a YouTube Premium, if you are using YouTube, the free version of YouTube, you are very likely to get the ad that you might think it is annoying, because you are thinking it is annoying because you wanted to watch a video and there is an ad that is popping up in front of you. Your most likely, your only goal when this ad pops up here is to look for that skip button, right? So, but there are different ways where you can utilize YouTube for performance, and I will tell you why YouTube also have to be a mix of your performance marketing, the choice of channels. All right. With the Google Ads, you can run shopping ads. Shopping ads are this gallery kind of ads. It is directly pulled from different e-commerce websites. Okay, this is not like a regular ad that we run for Google Display or Facebook ads, where we have to make that creative and put it right. So this is actually pulled directly from the e-commerce feed. Very powerful form of advertising. This generates a lot of sales. It is actually a performance marketing ad unit. It is not only the brand ad unit. It is actually a performance marketing ad unit, which means there is a product. User get an idea. The user get an idea about the brand. User get an idea about the product, which website it is being sold. It also has this free delivery, which is like an incentive, which is an offer that they're offering. Okay, so you can run Google shopping ads with the help of Google Ads. With Google Ads, you can also run something called discovery ads. Discovery ads are the one that pops up on your Google feed on your Android phone, right? With discovery ads, you can run a few other ad units as well, but predominantly discovery ads is Google's response to native ads, the typical native ads that is powered by, the likes of Outbrain and Taboola. So discovery is Google's response to that. Very likely you will see that in your Google app on your Android phone. Yeah. So these are the ads that pops up, and these ads have started generating a lot of good results as well. It's a relatively newer ad unit by Google. Initially, it was not behaving very well. A lot of clicks, but nothing was happening. But now they have improved this product a lot, so it definitely occupies a very prominent position in a performance marketing mix. Okay. With Google Ads, you can run universal app campaigns, otherwise called as UAC. Now, if you have an app, you must be wondering, how do I get downloads? So if you have an app and if you want to get a download, UAC is a no-brainer. Okay. I don't think of any prominent app that is not running UAC. It is very, very simple. All you have to do is just to drop in the app's name while you're setting up this campaign. Google takes care of everything else. It's that simple, highly programmatic, fantastic ad unit. Initially, again, it was generating a lot of junk, but Google has improved this product a lot in the last 2 years. Okay. These are the ads that pop up in, the Play Store. And it can actually come on Google search itself from your mobile device. If you're opening a browser and Chrome and you're searching for something, it is very likely to show an ad unit like this, but this will actually take you to Play Store. Similarly, if you're running a YouTube ad, you can run a YouTube ad for action. There is something called YouTube ad for action. And you can actually see this small thing, right? It is an install. You can actually run a video for your app that talks about what your app is. If it is a game, you can actually play a game, very quick game, so that user get an idea of what that game is all about. very, very powerful form of advertising, and this will result in a qualified install because people are watching the video and then they are taking an action. The next one, it can actually pop up in different websites as well, like this. This is a really random website, but it can pop up as a banner like this, right? And it can app within part of the Google Display Network also, right? You can run very different ad units. But the thing is, Google takes care of these things for you. Google will actually put that image. Google will actually put that text, pulled from your description, and it will run those ads for you. Very, very, important and form of advertising when it comes to app downloads. The next one is, with Google Ads, you can run local ads. If you are a local business or a retail business or a business with physical address, then you might definitely want to run local ads. These, for example, if you're searching something for near me, usually you get the map locations, right? And that map, if you look at this particular ad, it is an ad. It comes with that label ad. Similarly, in Google Maps, it will come up. Once you open that a business, it can actually show some ads there as well, right? It can come in Google Display Network. It can come in YouTube. You can run local ads literally anywhere, and Google will take care of doing this for you. So you don't have to worry about where do I run this on. Google will do that for you. And we will talk about that a little in detail later. Yeah. With Google Ads, you can run something called hotel ads as well, but it is only applicable for hotel. And it is not directly available on our Google Ads dashboard. There are a few partners that Google has. You need to partner with them, and they will set up your system in such a way that you will be able to run Google Hotel Ads as well. Fantastic working unit, for hotel businesses. You would have seen sometimes, when you search for a hotel, Google will give you those options. You can buy, you can book this hotel from Kayak, from ClearTrip, from Booking.com, stuff like that, and that is called a hotel ad. Okay, and it will usually come with a symbol as well. So the next one, it's a few ground rules. For those who do not know, a few metrics, and I have covered a few metrics because we are going to be using a lot of these abbreviations later. We are not going to be talking about in detail. So if you are a beginner, you have to definitely pay attention to these metrics. Okay. First one is the click. In Google, you pay for a click. Whenever a user clicks on your ad, and that's when you pay for it. And Google is the first network to kind of introduce this kind of a payment model, which is a cost per click kind of a payment model. So whenever user clicks on an ad, that's when you pay. And that when you pay for it, generally goes by the name cost per click, otherwise CPC. Okay, this is what you pay for when a user click on your ad. So click, and you pay for a click, and that is why it is called cost per click. Now people generally confuse CPC with PPC. Okay, CPC is a metric. PPC is a form of an ad. For example, you can call Google search ads as a PPC. You can call native ads as PPC. You can call Facebook ads as a PPC, because you are only paying for a click. Whenever you're paying for a click in any of the network, it is called PPC network. Okay, but CPC is a metric. Cost per click is the metric, and the same metric will be available in every ad network as well. Next one is impression. And now generally people think that impression means you'll have to pay for every time your ad was seen by someone. That's not true. It is actually every time you pay for 1,000 impressions. So CPM generally means it's not cost per impression, it is cost per 1,000 impressions. The other way people call it is cost per milli, but nobody generally uses this in an industry. We generally call it CPM, and people understand. This is the cost you pay for 1,000 impressions. One impression, two impression doesn't mean anything. Okay, paying for 1,000 impressions itself is a criminal activity, but sometimes you just can't avoid that. Most of the other advertising channels, work basis on CPM model, which means the cost that you pay for 1,000 impressions, not for one or two impressions. Okay, an impression doesn't mean the user has seen your ad. Impression means when an ad is delivered to a visitor. Let's say you're browsing Times of India. Okay, some 8 ads would have been there. Now, you wouldn't have noticed all the 8 ads, but that ads were delivered to you. It will be counted as an impression whether you see it or not. So that is impression. So the next one is view. View is applicable when you're running video campaigns on YouTube. And the metric for view is cost per view, which means every time a video is viewed by a customer, it is called cost per view. Now, this is slightly different from impression, because impression you're very likely to ignore, but a view is not really ignored, right? Because when you're watching a YouTube video, you're very likely to see that ad. You might want to skip it, but you have seen that ad, right? So when you pay for a view, it becomes cost per view. The next one is called bid. This bid as a terminology will keep on popping up as we talk more about Google, Facebook. We will keep mentioning bid. Bid is very similar to the regular bidding that you do. It is how much you are willing to pay for an action. Okay. For example, if you're participating in an auction, a regular offline auction, where let's say you're bidding for an artwork, right? There is a guy who will ask, how much do you want to bid? How much do you want to bid? Right? Okay, $1,000, $2,000, $2,500. That is exactly what it is. In the online advertising space, when you bid for a specific real estate, that goes by the name bid. Generally it goes by, while you're setting up the campaign, you will see maximum bid. Maximum bid is you are instructing that network that this is the maximum bid that I'm willing to pay for, because you can't keep on monitoring, right? You need to set a number, the maximum that you can afford. So whatever actions can be performed within that action, Google will buy it for you. Similarly, Facebook, most of the networks has a maximum bid, which means the maximum money that you're willing to pay for that action. Okay. So the next is a very important metric, click-through rate. Usually the click-through rate is measured, it is represented in percentage. The way click-through rate is calculated is clicks by impressions into 100. Okay. And the click-through rate will look like 2%, 3%, 5%, 10%, 15%, right? If you're running Google search ads, you can go all the way up to 50, 60% CTR. I do not know how many of you have seen that. I have seen that. Look, so many a times, it will show you 100% CTR as well. But that 100% CTR, if you monitor the clicks, it will be only 2 or 3 clicks. Okay. I am talking about campaigns that are running since a long time. I have seen 25%, 35%, all the way up to 50% I have seen, regularly. If you, that is how powerful it is. I was talking about, there are a few categories where as high as 90% of the clicks go to ads. It is that kind of a category, okay, where your CTR will be extraordinary. But when you're running a display ad, where people are very likely to ignore that particular ad, there the CTR will be low, because that is not really meant for somebody to come and click. Though as an advertiser, as a marketer, we want people to be clicking on our ad, but people generally ignore that ad because it screams ad all the time, right? There are curious people, who will, if the creative looks exciting, if the messaging is exciting, people will be clicking, which is why when you're running that display campaign, you do get clicks, you do get visitors coming to you, but people generally ignore that. That is the majority of internet population. As people are getting, more concerned about privacy and stuff like that, they generally avoid clicking on random stuff. And this banner ad is considered to be a random stuff on the internet. Okay. So click-through rate is a percentage, very, very important, because if there are, let's say, 1,000 clicks and some 2 million impressions, it is really difficult for you to be looking at the absolute number and taking any judgments. Okay, what does 1,000 clicks mean? Or what does a 2 million impressions mean? Right? And imagine if it is 1,273 clicks and 1,079,000 impressions. No, it is really difficult. And hence click-through rate, as a formula was invented for you to measure the success of your ad. It can be a text ad or it can be a banner ad. Whether your ad is working or not, CTR will tell you. Okay. In Google search ads, anything around 5% is generally considered to be an ad that is working very well. But you can aim higher. Like I told you, you can always aim higher on Google Ads. The next one is conversion rate. And there are 2 types of conversion rates. Okay. There is an ad conversion rate, which your Google ad dashboard will report. And there is something called a website conversion rate. Okay. Here we are talking about an ad conversion rate, which your Google dashboard or a Facebook dashboard is going to report. A conversion rate is calculated with the number of conversions divided by the number of clicks that you've got in the ad into 100. Okay. Now you might ask, what is conversion? A conversion could be anything. A conversion could be a sale. When somebody purchases something from you. A conversion could be a phone call. When somebody clicks on a phone number, for a phone number and then call you on your landing page or on your ad. A conversion could be a form fill up on a landing page. Let's say if your landing page has a form and somebody ends up filling up the form and they go to the thank you page, that is called a conversion. It can be for any action. It is completely up to you to define that conversion to Google. Just like, when you are going through the Google Analytics module, you would have seen something called the goals, right? Which is from an analytics perspective. From a Google ad, from a Facebook ads perspective, you would want to measure conversions. And this conversion rate is to measure how well your campaign is working. Okay. The next one is cost per conversion. While now that we have understood clicks, we started driving a lot of traffic. Now people are going to our website and buying stuff from us. Now we need to know, what does it cost me to acquire one customer, or what does it cost me to acquire one acquisition, or one form fill up, or one app download. So that is called cost per conversion. Some people call it cost per acquisition as well. Both means the same thing, because end of the day, it is an action that you're expecting user to take. Either it is filling up a form or buying a product or downloading an app. You can call that cost per conversion, right? So the cost per conversion is calculated by the money that you spent by the number of conversions that you have gotten, right? That is how you calculate the cost per conversion, how much it is going to cost you to acquire one customer, to acquire one lead. The next one is website conversion rate. Website conversion rate is different, because your Google ad conversion rate is only Google ads. Google ads is driving the traffic, Google ads is measuring it. But your website can receive traffic from different places. It can receive traffic from affiliate marketing, it can receive traffic from social media marketing, email marketing, organic, SEO. It can receive traffic from multiple places. You need to know, what is your website conversion rate. Okay, because it is receiving traffic from multiple places, it will be different from what a Google ad conversion percentage looks like. Okay, and this is usually calculated by the number of overall conversions that you get on your website divided by the number of visitors that your website got into 100. So that will give you a website conversion rate. Again, this is also in percentage. I forgot to put it here. So this is useful to measure your traffic to website performance conversion rates, because this will give you clicks. And a click is not necessarily will become a user, because by the time a click happened on an ad and the user visits a landing page, there could be problems. Either the user is not interested in seeing the website, or your website is not loading properly, or the internet is down, right? Or your server is down, your website server is down. There could be many reasons why a click need not necessarily become a visitor, which is why you always see, whenever, if you have run Facebook ads or Google ads, you always see that leakage. Facebook will say 2000 clicks, but your relative traffic on Google Analytics would have shown you some 700 traffic. You would be wondering, 2000 clicks should have been 2000 users. Why is there only 700, right? That leakage could have been different for very many reasons. Like I've already given you a few reasons. Yeah. So these are reasons why the leakage happens, and hence the number doesn't necessarily look the same. Okay. So the final one is return on ad spend. In Google ads, it is measured in percentage. In Facebook ads, it is measured in absolute number, right? Generally, in Google ads, it will be like 200%, 250%. Whereas on Facebook ads, it's 2x or 2.5x. Okay. That's the difference between percentage and absolute. Okay. So this is calculated in terms of the conversion value, which means the revenue that you made out of all the conversions divided by the money that you spent into 100. Okay. So this is called the return on ad spend. The money that you made, which is called conversion value, divided by the money that you spend to make that money into 100. So that is called return on ad spend percentage. This is very useful to measure ROI, the return on investment of your marketing activities. All right. All right. So let's talk about, let's get into the meat of the things. With Google ads, we already saw the different type of ads that you can run. We looked at the different metrics that you need to be aware of. That's more than enough. And as we are diving deep into setting up campaigns, talking about different types of campaigns, we might introduce a few new metrics also to you, but it can get overwhelming for a beginner, and hence we are avoiding that. Okay. So now there are different types of Google ads that we can run. As soon as you set up a Google ad account, if you don't know how to do it, just say open a Google ad account, or just say search for Google ads. It will take you to a landing page, and then you sign in with your Google account, and you should have access to creating a Google ad account. As soon as you created your Google ad account, this is how the interface will look like. And I will walk you through the real interface as well, apart from the screenshot here. There are different types of goals that a business might have. You might want to drive sales, which is actual sales, people buying from your website. You might want leads. You might want just traffic coming to your website. You might want people to consider your product and brand, this you can correlate with the uh, buyer life cycle that we have range, starting from awareness, consideration, and all of that. That consideration piece, this particular campaign goal is meant for that. Okay. Brand awareness and reach. If you're a relatively new brand, how do you get more awareness and more reach? You can run app promotion, which means if you have an Android app or an iOS app, you can actually use this campaign goal to get more downloads for your app. Okay. The next one is local store visits and promotions, which is if you have a retail outlet, if you have a physical location, and if you want to drive footfall, if you want to generate calls, if you want to guide people the direction to the store, you can actually run this type of an ad. And Google, this is what most of the pros do. They generally don't follow instructions given by Google. They say, I don't need any guidance. I can set up my own campaign. And for those kind of studs, there is a final option: create a campaign without a goal guidance. If you're a beginner or an intermediate, it is better to choose an objective. The reason, the interface won't really look different. This is more of a guided journey where Google will tell you what you need to be doing if you want to drive sales. And you will see that instructions coming in. This one will look a little plain, where you have to take a lot of calls, and pros generally go with the last unit. Okay. So the next one, what are the different campaign types? The previous ones is campaign goals. These are different goals for your business that you can achieve with the help of Google Ads. Now, the second one is the different types of campaigns that exist on Google. We already talked about this a little, but you need to know the exact, the terminology for it. So you can run search ads. We talked about search ads. You can run display ads. You can run shopping ads. You can run video ads on YouTube. You can run app ads. You can run this. There is something called Smart Campaign. Smart Campaign is specifically built for beginners. Okay, and not necessarily beginner in marketing. It is meant for literal beginners. Those who are not exposed to performance, or who are not exposed to this. Will actually, in a few clicks, you should be able to set up your campaign and run. Okay, so that's smart campaigns. Local campaign we talked about, and finally, that you can run a discovery campaign, which is similar to the native ads that you can run with the help of Taboola and Outbrain. So discovery is that news feed kind of an ad which comes on the Google app on your Android phone.